Trash here. Gonna be a rushed review and gonna try for more than one review right now. The reason I'm rushing, there will be no fancy stuff, no anything really special, because I haven't done a review in a good little while and I need to get some cranked out. So no slideshows, no fancy nothing. What we've got right here is animated Grimlock. Okay, so right here we've got animated Grimlock. He is, of course, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, except for that one that was a Ford. That's all he's ever been, I think. No, wait. He was a Raptor. He was a repaint of Dinobot. But anyway, fairly neat figure, very true to the original, which I put up. Okay, there he is next to the G1 Grimlock. And I've kind of got G1 Grimlock laid out flat. That's not the way he's supposed to be posed. He's supposed to be more like that. You know, that's the way that G1 was. You can't really stand this one like that. I mean, you could, but he's looking up at the sky because the head's not posable like it was on the G1 figure. This guy, the entire extent of his posability is his legs. The arms don't swivel or anything like on the G. That's him. Oh, but anyway, the only real thing posable on him besides his legs is his mouth. So it's like, me, Grimlock, king. Well, I didn't vote for you. You don't vote for a king. Well, how do you become king? Anyway, I could go on with that for a while. Let's just go ahead. Oh, and the packaging says that he can have fire breath. And what it is, here's his sword. Open his mouth. And there's no peg or anything. It just kind of sits there. You got to rebalance the figure. But there you go. There's his flame breath that they talked about on the packaging. Actually, it's not as bad as I'm making it sound. It's pretty neat. So it's like... Anyway, moving on. To transform this guy, he is very, very much like the Generation 1 figure. You start off by splitting the tail, flipping that around. This right here, the legs come up. This is slightly different because it comes further up his back than the G1 figure did. But you get all that flipped out and around. From here, this part that was his upper back, this gets flipped up over like that to where he's got, he doesn't really have heel spurs, but the backs of his feet are large enough that, you know, he can get away with that. The tail clips on to some pegs on the side of the legs. The legs split and kind of go out to the sides like that. Next part is this opens up and everything swivels back. But unlike the Generation 1 version, the head pivots back up to where it's... Let's make sure I got this pegged tightly. To where it's actually facing up instead of just backing down. And then the little arms pivot around to stow inside his wings. And that... Oh yeah, his chest pops up. So this guy is very, very, very faithful to the original Generation 1 transformation. The first pictures I saw of him, the way his arms are right here, I thought that's the way they made it look like his arm was going to be, and I was like, I'm not impressed. But it all goes back inside of here, and it's still an awkward looking elbow, but it's a lot better than it looked like from the early pictures I saw, where they were mistransformed. And the chest is back down. So anyway, you got a posable thumb, 3 fingers that are all joined together, and the shoulders are very posable. There's no rotator anywhere in the arm except right at the wrist. That's his only real bad point. Square peg on the sword, that goes in right there. kind of holds it together, and as you rotate the sword, let me see if I can just rotate Grimlock around the sword so you can see this. There, if you saw that, this flames pop out of the side. Let me see if I can... There. So, at first I thought it was broken. I thought you just push it onto the wrist and they popped out. But actually you gotta flick the wrist to make it work. There is no mechanism to do it in the left hand, but he can't hold it in his left hand. Got waist articulation. Fairly decent amount of articulation in this figure. And he's a lot more stable in the legs than the classics Dinobot was. Grimlock. Don't know where I've got him at the moment, otherwise I'd show them together. Anyway, this figure, not the best figure to come out of animated, but he is still a fairly decent figure. I would pick this guy up after Starscream and possibly Optimus, but I would pick this guy up before Bulkhead, and I'm not even picking up the Megatron, so pick this guy up before Megatron. Anyway, there you go. Oh, let me just show you these two in robot mode together. And there he is next to my very back-heavy Generation 1 Grimlock, which I'm just going to go ahead and hold this guy up. So, he's really not as much bigger as you would think he would be. I mean, at the shoulder they're about the same, at the head there's about an inch difference, but still. If you want a G1 inspired Grimlock, which that's pretty much any of them except for the Beast Wars and the Alternators, go ahead and pick this guy up. He's worth having. Y'all have a good day. And he can talk.
Me, Grimlock, hate you!
I kid.
Me, Grimlock, very not happy with thing that is not what thing should be. Grimlock King.